Okay, so it is Sunday, and we just came from the Galleria, and I had a conference call to be on with Lynn for the 1% program that I'm doing, which was a good thing. But anyway, so to give update as to the gym, we had our first full week of classes, doing the new schedule. I think I already talked about this a little bit, but anyway, today we had a pretty stoutly size, and that was fun. And then Sarah and I, our schedule has changed up for us, so we now are able to go out and explore on Friday, Saturday, and a little bit on Sunday now. So we are doing that, and we had there's something I want to get out real quick. We're talking about, and that is about learning. What was the thing that we just? Oh yeah, Sarah had read something. Oh yeah. So two things that we've been talking about. One is about mindless consumption, and even, I always think of consumption as the person with eating Dorito chips, or shopping for purses or watches, but I was thinking about it the other day about how when you're reading a book, reading is learning, and we have this idea that learning is a good thing, and because of that, if you're reading, if you're learning, that you're always doing something positive. But Sarah and I were both talking about how sometimes our reading or sometimes our learning feels like it's getting in the way of our actually taking action and producing things, and I think it's because it almost acts as like a safety net, like, oh well, I'm learning, I'm improving myself, so it's okay. When really, when it boils down to, if your goal in life is to be a producer and not a consumer, and to be defined more by the fact that you produce more than you consume, then even consuming books, consuming learning more than you produce is counter to that. And so it's interesting, because it's like, yeah, but learning is a good thing, and that's almost the same argument as the person who is trying to lose weight by eating a bunch of avocados, because avocados are healthy foods, a healthy fat. And it's kind of that same argument that, like, yeah, it is good, but in context. And it's the same, like, reading and learning is good, but in context. But the other piece I wanted to mention was something that I think Sarah had read about that I really liked about learning, and about that we live in this age where we see videos and well, mainly videos of amazingly talented people all the time, and because of that, it can be hard to take action and do something, and to learn, because the standard we hold ourselves against are like the amazing guitarists, or the amazing whatever that talent is. Like if you want to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you might go onto YouTube and watch all these amazing grapplers, and then you go in and you can't do any of the stuff, and it's very defeating. There's not that sense of playful exploration. You've already created the standard. Like I think about that in terms of, imagine the Gracies as they were creating Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Like, they were always at the very edge of the BJJ skills and techniques, always. And they were always discovering something new. And now we kind of live in an age where, yeah, there are more things to explore, but they're a lot smaller. And the majority of people are going to just be being told what to do. The techniques have already been discovered. The art has already been sort of put together for the most part, in, at least on a more general level. And so there isn't this exploration space. And so instead, we're just like learning, and then how am I doing? What's the standard? And I think, yeah, that's important to know, is that seeing there has to be some sort of openness to being really bad at something, despite the fact that we have so many models of excellency in every field now. Unless you are going to innovate and find a new field. But I like to try and capture anything that has to do with learning, because I feel like that's an important thing for my understanding to grow. So, as far as this weekend, we bought some fans for the gym. Not fans that go whoa, 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 whoa. But like the little, they were Okinawa fans. They're for decoration on the wall. They look really cool. Sarah and I went, if this gives you an idea of how we might be running out of places to explore, we went to explore Llano. If you don't know what Llano is, just imagine any tiny ass town. Like, you know, it definitely doesn't attract a tourist population.
Except for the barbecue.
Okay, I guess barbecue is really big there. Anyway, which actually we did go to a barbecue place there on one of our first dates.
That's right.
But anyway, not as good as the IHOP dates.
I hope no true Texan is listening to this.
Anyway, so what was it? So we stopped in. We just went walking around and saw a little jug store shop, and that's really what it was. Had a good conversation with the owner though, but that's we saw it on the wall. All right, about 3 more minutes. After we're on our way home, we're about to arrive at home, and then I'm going to hop in the car and go hang out with Taylor, and then get home and set some goals. I've had I feel like a lot of thoughts are incubating. I feel like I felt very stuck in a sense. Like,
do a lap so you can finish your video.
Like, what's that?
You're gonna do a lap so you can finish your video.
Cool. I definitely have felt like I keep having strands of thoughts, and I get really excited, and then I grab the strand, I start to pull, and then I realize that it's connected to a giant ball of yarn that's been knotted and messed up, and it drives me insane. And that's how I felt. It's like these little strands that I get excited about. I grab onto them, I start to follow them, and then it's just this big mess. It's like headphones when you pull them out of your pocket. But I think my subconscious has started to declutter it, and I think I'm starting to come up with quite an action plan. And so I'm envisioning something much bigger than the simple than running a gym. The gym is just one small piece, and I'm calling it the Road to Mastery. Originally, Road to Mastery was just going to be a program that I was going to offer, but I think that's slowly becoming the sum of everything. And so I put together a graph. There's Wyatt Woodsmall in a program that I've got called Learning and Teaching by Eben Pagan. Wyatt Woodsmall, he talks about that. He actually taught this to Tony Robbins, that everything you teach, you should be able to diagram on a single sheet of paper. You should be able to diagram it with a visual model. And Sarah and I have been reading an Eben Pagan book called Opportunity that is all about models and mental models. And Sarah's been into sketchnoting for a while, so she's kind of natural to this. But I created my little mental model, and the Road to Mastery really fits. And inside of it plugs in our gym classes, plugs in our hybrid program, which I'm calling the One and Done Weight Loss Program, plugs in the private lesson training, plugs in virtual, plugs in instructor training. And so I'm going to build out separate trainings for each of those based on people wanting those specific things. But holistically, my overall program is going to be the entire thing. And I want to try and, like, if somebody wants to go deep into nutrition, they go into the One and Done or the hybrid program, in other words. But then hopefully I can also guide them, steer them to another part. But anyway, that's my 10 minutes, so I'm going to end it now.